Well, welcome. So glad you're taking time to just watch this thought. I want to encourage you today with something that really has been an encouragement to me over the years as a minister. The thought is this, and I'll start by saying this: if you will build his house, he will build yours, and his house being God. Now, I get that from a passage in the Bible from 1 Chronicles 16, where King David had just brought the ark back to Jerusalem. Now, the ark was a gold-covered box with cherubim wings on it, and God would come and meet David or any priest, and he would come down and speak with them, give them instructions. And so David had this ark brought to Jerusalem, and his passion was to love God. His passion was to worship God. So he would come before the ark, he would come before God, and he would worship him. I mean, David was said to be a man after God's own heart. And that's an absolutely astounding thing to know that God is pleased with you. And you might be watching this going, I know there's a God. I don't know if he's pleased with me, and I would like to live for him. I would actually even like to serve him, but I don't know if I could. Well, David was a man who loved to worship. He knew how to experience God's presence. He had experienced God's presence many times. And so he brought this ark into a tent that we call the Tabernacle of David, and he would worship him there. After some time, David is in his house, really a palace, and he's looking out one day and he says, you know, it's not right that I, the king, live in a palace of cedar while the ark of God is in a tent. And he had in his heart then to say, I want to build an actual large permanent dwelling place for God. So in those days, he would go to the prophet and say, here's my idea, here's what I want to do. And so he went to Nathan the prophet and he said, I have it in my heart to build a temple for our God. And Nathan immediately said, that's a good idea, go for it. But that night, Nathan was woken to a dream by God where God said, Nathan, I don't need a temple. I don't need anything like that. I've never needed a dwelling place. The heavens are my throne. The earth is my footstool. However, and here's what gets so interesting. He said, tell David, because David was concerned about my concerns, I am concerned about his. And because David wanted to build me a house, would you tell David, I will build him a house? And by the way, tell him that I will put him on the throne. I'll put someone from his family always on that throne, and there will never be a time when that throne does not have someone sitting on it. He said to David, because you concern yourself with what I'm concerned with, I will build your house. So I want to encourage you today, as you seek out God, as you look to God, don't be afraid. You might say, I don't know if I can do this thing. I don't know if I can go after God. I don't know if I can do this. What about my own life? What about the things that I care about? What if I go to God and what happens to my dreams? What happens to my plans? Let me say this. God loves us so much. He's such a good father that he would say the same words to you, I believe, today as he said to David. If you will build my house, I will build yours. If you will care for the things that I care for, I will care for the things you care for. He's such a good father. He wants to bless those who come to him. I would encourage you, go after him. Call upon him. Say, I'm here. I'm ready to pursue you. Take some thought to that. Have a great day. God bless you.